So maintaining focus on the audience to achieve our goals, it requires a few different things: to plan, to integrate, to manage, and to adapt. When we talk about plan, what we're referring to is content scheduling and distribution needs. They need to be planned and they need to be managed well. We're talking about integrating. Here we're looking at the social media marketing. Has it been integrated with a broader marketing strategy for the organization? For example, social media, we're talking about this. But what about our print media? If we're still doing print and radio, what are we communicating there? Is it related or is it completely different? If it's related, fantastic. It can be integrated. If it is something different, then we have to consider, are we going to confuse our potential customers? In terms of managing, we need to think about using social automation tools. It really helps to improve efficiency as well as monitor performance. And adapting. We need to be prepared for mistakes and errors and adapt to change quite rapidly. Looking for solutions and trialing new ways of doing things as social media is constantly changing is key to success. Some of the greatest things that have not happened because we intended to, but because we discovered something along the journey. So being adaptive becomes really important. And most of all, knowing our audience and the kind of engagement that they are expecting, it also becomes important. So knowing our audience, think about what they need, think about what they want, think about how we want to engage with them, tie everything together, and we're on the road to success. Is it a guarantee? No. I wanted to share some examples with you. So we're talking about metrics earlier. At the end of that particular talk, we're talking about how, depending on our objective, the metrics or the analytics that we look at can really differ. Well, here's a few examples. If we're trying to increase awareness around a product launch, then we want to increase our reach as much as possible, meaning reach as many different customers as possible or as much of the market as possible. If we are simply trying to increase our audience, then we want to keep a close eye on, say, a metric like the number of followers after we release a video. So how many views do we get from this video? How many views do we get from this image? Or how many views do we get from this tweet? And so on. We also need to think about, does the video tell our viewers to like, to comment, to subscribe? These are what we call a call to action, right? A call to action meaning we want them to do something. If we're thinking about communication with our audience, well, what do we want them to do? Do we want them to like, comment, and subscribe? Do we want them to come to an event? Do we want them to purchase a product? Do we want them to support an idea? And the answer is yes to any of these. Then we have to consider, have we included this in our messaging? If we leave our customers confused by what we're communicating with them, even if it's like super exciting and super sexy and super funny, but we leave them confused with what they should do next, then chances are they're not going to do what we want them to do. They'll probably do something, but it might not necessarily be what we would like them to do. So it's really important to ensure that when it comes to our messaging, we ensure that we include what the call to action is. So at the end of this video, I would love it if you guys could do the following. Check out the website, have a look at this project we're working on. We've got a sale starting next week. Please, look into it. There's a limited time offer for the first 100, blah, blah, blah. Something like that, which gets people moving. It's likely that our videos are trying to do a combination of things. It's likely that whatever communication that we're trying to do through whichever social media platform, it's trying to do a combination of a few things, which is great because it allows us to make sure we're covering more of the market. However, the more general we are, the more difficult it becomes to track and monitor. The more specific we are, the more it allows us to be focused on what we're trying to achieve. All in all, though, what we want to ensure is that we keep an eye on different parts of the analytics or different parts of the metrics to make sure that we're heading towards the right direction. Some of the greatest discoveries in the world happened through accidents. Some of the greatest, marketing communication that happened, it didn't result in what we wanted, but it did something else incredible, which is why it's really important to look at the analytics and see what it's telling us, and then make the adjustments as required so we can keep building on it going forward.